Did you hear about the group of recent high school graduates who were part of the Spanish National Honor Society who were not allowed to wear their Honor Society stoles as they walked across the stage? Did you know they also earned those sashes and they were told to remove them before the ceremony? If not, I'm going to play the video for you now.
The League of United Latin American Citizens, or LULAC, is demanding action after Spanish National Honor Society students were stripped of their sashes during graduation. The LULAC says this happened because of the lack of support for Hispanics in the district.
We first brought you this story yesterday at 6 o'clock. Anieli Ruiz following up today with the latest from Humble.
As you can imagine, LULAC was not happy to hear about this incident. But they say there are other issues here also affecting Latinos.
The Summer Creek High School class of 2023.
It's the highlight of many students in their high school career, graduation day. But this weekend, that special moment turned sour for many students whose Spanish National Honor Society sashes were removed by administrators. This happened before the students walked the stage. Take a look, you can see a man folding the sashes, and the only ones removed appear to be the colorful sashes known as sarapes. LULAC representatives are angry about this.
So why do you try to marginalize us? Why do you try to embarrass our children?
A humiliating moment for students who worked hard for them. They had to volunteer 100 hours and maintain good grades. The sashes were approved by administrators back in April. Students say it's not the first time this was done.
If a certain group of people can wear something, why can't we?
But LULAC feels this incident was just the tip of the iceberg. They feel this reflects the systematic lack of support for Hispanics in the district, with nearly 40% of students being Latinos and only 16% of their teachers are Hispanic.
No hay nadie que hable español.
This mother tells me there's no one in the front office that speaks Spanish at her kids' schools. She has a hard time obtaining newsletters and information in Spanish.
This is precisely the reason why we need more representation and why it matters.
Well, the school district apologized for the incident this week and even offered to retake the students' picture with their sashes. They also said Spanish speakers are available to communicate with parents and say translations are provided at meetings and even done with a button on the school district's website. They also say they're committed to meeting the needs of all the students, and diversity is a part of that. They have bilingual education that includes ESL, Spanish immersion, as a dual language. Also mentioning students from all ethnicities participate in the Spanish Honor Society.
The teacher in charge of the Spanish National Honor Society was angry about what happened. I don't blame her for being pretty upset about it. She said she got approval for the students to wear those sashes in April. She said there was a special ceremony for the students on Cinco de Mayo where they were presented with the sashes. Then the teacher goes on to say she actually tried to speak to administrators at the graduation ceremony to address the problem. And the only thing that was said to her was, "We'll talk about it on Tuesday and let me get out." In the same video that showed the confiscated sashes being folded behind the stage, other students were seen wearing different sashes that represented their culture and organization. Those students were allowed to walk across the stage. Then the teacher goes on to say, "To me personally, it's racial discrimination. And this is something I have been having to fight for to represent my community." And the news reached out to the school district, which said the incident was a miscommunication and the person checking students' outfits had no idea the sashes were approved. Then they went on to say, "We feel terrible. They were not allowed to wear the Spanish National Honor Society sashes. The chief communication officer said they should have been allowed to wear them." Well, yeah. The district then reached out to the students and offered them a free portrait of them in their sashes, but the students said it's too late, that the special moment across the stage is gone. It's ruined. I mean, they can never get that back. These students took their time to do something above just their regular education classes. It says that they were prepared to walk across the stage over the weekend with sashes that let everyone know they got good grades and completed more than 100 volunteer hours, but those sashes were stripped away from them before the ceremony began. So here is another apology. We do want to say to the students that we're very sorry that you had that experience. That would have never happened had there been knowledge that those had been approved by anyone. And so we feel very bad about that and want to do anything to make that right for the students and their families, and we'll continue to work with each other on what that might be. So my question is, the person who was checking all the sashes, was it specifically only them who was refusing to let the students wear the sashes? Or did somebody else tell that person checking the sashes to get them removed? This is the second story I have reported on where students got humiliated at their own graduations. A graduation should be a time for celebration, excitement, showing your accomplishments. Students work really hard for their diplomas. There's no reason that the students who work extra hard shouldn't be able to show that by wearing their sashes, especially if there was also special representation behind their sashes. For both my news stories, those schools need to do better. And before I end my video, I do want to give a shout out to Zoe. Thank you so much for making me aware of the situation. As always, leave me your thoughts in the comments below.